little more direct for manufacturers who could use this kind of assistance. We put together these marketing packages, and we're entitling this Electrify Your Marketing. So there will be more coming out in this in the near future. You're the first ones to hear this. So, be excited that you're the first ones to know, but tell all your friends and neighbors. You can visit this website after the presentation, but I want to put the link in here for you to let you know what this is all about. Lori Squadere, I'll introduce in a second, will be presenting on a topic of trade shows and bringing your brand to life. But after the presentation, please visit any number of the expert tables. There's various folks from InFUZEd at different tables to talk about different topics. We'll have different topics moderated for, including Lori, she'll be at one table too, but discuss specific graphic needs or SEO, content, branding, email, etc. So if you have any other specific things, jump on one of those tables after. If you're having any technical difficulties during the presentation or want to ask a question for InFUZEd, we do have a table off to the left just for InFUZEd. So now enough with me. I'm going to introduce our speaker now so we can get to it. Lori Squadere is the owner of AM&J Digital. It's a New York State certified women-owned business that specializes in large format digital printing and custom graphics for trade shows, events, and interior spaces. For 30 years, Lori has been assisting clients with telling their stories in corporate interiors and at outside venues, managing their signage needs for marketing and events, and helping them to design, develop, and execute trade show presentations. Along with her outstanding in-house staff, which has helped her with this presentation this morning. Lori loves to ask, what are you trying to do? Which is a great question that all of us should ask our clients. And then surprise our clients with various options and solutions they wouldn't have thought of on their own. She truly enjoys sharing her extensive working knowledge with companies of all sizes and types. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Lori to the stage.
Paul, I don't see Lori listed as a presenter here.
Oh, Beth. Well, it'll be under Beth. Yeah. She's using her colleague's computer. So.
Okay, Beth, go ahead and turn on your mic and camera. Great.
There you go.
There's Lori under the name Beth.
So. Yeah, under Beth. Although Beth is really the one you want to call when you call here anyway. She has all the knowledge, much more than I do. She's fantastic. My whole team is fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, and happy summer solstice to all of you. My name is Lori Squadere, and I'm the owner of AM&J Digital. We're a large format printing company. And what the definition of large format printing used to be at one time is basically anything that couldn't be printed on a traditional commercial press. We would do anything large per se, but that's also evolved a lot in that we do tons of other substrates, rigid plastics, we do vinyls, we do mesh, we do fabric, we do magnetics, we do so much different things. And that's also pushed us into an even a different category in that we can also do smaller things in those type of substrates. So it's an interesting market as it's been growing. I've been doing this for 20 years now, and we've been excited to watch it evolve. So a little bit about us. We're, as I said, a large format digital printer. We started out as in the pre-press business 50 years ago, and that was an old trade business where we would do films for printers. That gave us a good knowledge of dealing with color and design and how clients, would like ads to look like. So that's how we kind of then moved our way into the large format market. So as I said, we deal a lot with different materials, different hardwares, many things in the large format end. But a couple things that, thanks, Beth. So we pretty much can print up to any size. It's usually restricted by the actual size of the materials we're working with. Many times we have clients who say, I want to go this size, and we have to say, we don't have materials that large. We can't get them that large. So we try to direct them on, but we can do this. Let's say you want to hang a banner. How are you hanging it? Where are you hanging it? How heavy a 24-foot banner is in vinyl, very heavy. Maybe let's look at fabric. Does it need to be outside? Does it need to have grommets, pole pockets? Have you ever got a 24-foot pole pocket? That's, find some way to hang it. So that's how we kind of, back into it a lot with our our clients. So as I did say in my introduction, we spent a lot of time asking our clients questions when we sit down with them, when they're starting to think about doing trade shows. How are you installing it? Are you transporting it? Where's it going? Is it going to be used indoors or outdoors? How many times are you going to use it? And by that allows us to kind of direct them on some of the various products that are now out there. And so as you all have been in the last couple years, as we have been with the trade show market, has been pretty stifled. We've been really happy to see that things are really popping. We've been super busy. We're seeing not so much new products, but a lot of products were reimagined and brought back into the market in better ways. Now with the way that we have with transporting, people don't want to spend a lot of money shipping. They want to be able to carry things. They want to be able to do instantaneous, get something there by car, by plane, somewhere other than just having to use an LTL trucker. So they've had to reimagine how a lot of the trade show stuff is being used. So when we look at our business, we look at it in 5 different segments, pretty much. We start with our specialty, then we have our events market, we have our interior market, our convention market, and then into our trade show market. So I'm going to start with the first market that we have up on our screen, which is our specialty market, we call it. And that is one of those markets I actually love working in. It's everything and anything you can think of from, right now we have floor graphics. We can do those for any shapes, sizes, for rugs, for floors. You know, it's a fun market. Concretes, you can do it indoor, you can do it outdoor. You can do it for shows, for any kind of shows, or you can do it for anything. Kim, can we go to the next screen? Is Kim? Oops, oh, there we go. Okay, this is also still part of our specialty markets. We can do cutouts. We do it in vinyls. Also, some of the things in the specialty markets you have are like window graphics. We have, Kim, next screen, please. So some of these, you've got the pole banners, we've got window graphics. We've got what we always try to do is find and explore different materials that come out. At one point, it used to be pretty generic. You had vinyls, you had papers, you had adhesives, but we've come across many new types of materials. Like for instance, on this particular page, we've got a magnetic material, which is where that the center one is, which the menu one. That magnetic material, everything comes off of that. It's a magnet receptor on the back, and then you can change out on that material. So that's great for any kind of restaurants or other things. We do lots in fabrics. The one above that is a divider, and that's also in a fabric material. The fabrics are great, and the hardware is great because you can change that out. You can have 2 or 3 different designs if you need that. And then we have pole banners underneath there that we do a lot of those. Those are part of our specialty markets as well. Kim, our next screen, please. On here we have window graphics. Now the top one is a view through, which is a wonderful material if you want people to see images, but you want to be able to look out and let light in and out. So on that top one, you can look out and you can see what's going on, but what people see are a graphic, which is a great way to advertise. I find this is wonderful when people have great windows and you've got real estate and you can tell a story on that. The one underneath there is also a window graphic, but it's printed on both sides. So if someone's inside, they get to also see a whole nother message than you do on the outside. And the picture underneath is kind of a fun one. It's a material that's got a 10-year warranty. That's actually the top of a carousel down in Rye Playland. And that material has a 10-year warranty, and there's very few materials we have that have that type of warranty. So that is just a bit of the uniqueness of the unique projects we do when we get a call to do different things. Kim, let's see what else we got. Okay, now we work into our events sections. So the events are really fun. Events can be anything from indoor events, outdoor events. Most of our event market is performances. We can do golf or road races. We do outside markets. We do a lot starting now. So when we look at our seasons, a lot of times we start our events market from spring to the fall, especially in the upstate area. We do a lot of the tents. So what we have showing here in our events market are some tents that we can do. Tents, you can do a back wall drop, you can do a half wall drop. These all collapse down. They can all be carried, stowed away, taken in your car. They can be shipped. On the very bottom shows a complete set with the banner stands and the table throw that makes a wonderful presentation. Now tents, you can do these. We've sold some that have been used inside of trade shows. I mean, they're very got a lot of uses, not just for outdoors. The Health Warrior one that you see on top has a great little counter that goes with it, and these are all collapsible. That counter can also be used as a tabletop if wanted to. So it's got a lot of different uses. Kim, how about our next screen, please? Here we've got flags. Now the flags and an outside banner stand. Flags can be used indoors or outdoors. They also can be used as trade shows. They can be used in events. We do a lot with schools with these, golf tournaments. The banner stand next to it is actually an outdoor banner stand, which makes it kind of really unique because it's got very large feet and it's got a center pole that helps with the wind. And it can be used outdoors, rain, and it's extremely heavy to help with the wind. So we do a lot of that. We have many of those products too in the banner stand world. So I should just say that we stock banner stands. It's different sizes, indoor ones, outdoor ones, all of that we can do in vinyl, fabric, film, all of that's available on a pretty rush basis if needed. Kim, how about our next screen, please? Okay, this is still the events market. Now this is all some of our outdoor events, and these are large banners, which you may not be able to tell on the screen, but they're very large, 24 by 30-inch banners that we usually grommet, or we can install other ways, such as pole banners if needed, but these are all been grommeted. The top event is actually a view-through. So you've got a combination of your vinyl and view-through material on those glass windows. So once again, you can look out, but all anyone sees is a graphic on the outside. So this is part of our event market. Kim, next screen, please. Now we work into conferences, and most of the conference material that we do is pretty standard, such as gator boards for wayfinding signs, sponsor signage. We do all sizes. Some of the things we try to help clients with is, let's say, what they don't know much about the location they're having this conference in. They may not know how many arrow signs they need. That we'll do removable arrows. We'll Velcro them on so that they can switch them around and use them for when they get there. They'll have a better idea. You've got your step and repeats that are great for photos. All of the step and repeats are aluminum framed and they collapse down. But one of the great things about them, this unit on the bottom here, is you can have 2 or 3 different skins. One can be a step and repeat. One can be used for photo ops. One can be used for trade shows. So you can have one frame, but have several skins and continue to reuse that hardware. This all collapses. It collapses down and it goes right into a gym bag and you can take it with you. I love this little unit on top, this that says perspective on it. This is actually a banner stand, in that that's a basic vinyl banner. And one of the things that happens with people when they get to conferences is they'll say, well, how do I hang this banner once I get there? This stand will allow you to hang it. And it actually, there's a second photo, and I don't know, do we have that? Didn't come through. Okay. It actually shows that this rotates. So you can hang it so that it's either horizontal or it actually tilts and becomes vertical. And this will allow you to actually use a banner at a conference. Normally, it's very hard to find that. A couple of the other materials we like at conferences are things that we call a phototech, which is something that is removable adhesive paper that once you put it on, it will not hurt the walls. You can peel it off, but you can use that in any kind of hotel settings or any kind of convention settings. So Kim, let's go to the next one, please. Oops, there it is. There's our little. Okay. Our fourth market is the interiors, which is a fun market that we really enjoy, especially since in the last couple of years with people being out of offices, people having time to rebrand, we've been doing a lot of what we're saying interiors. That being, the market consists of doing your kind of your branding. So most of the people we've been dealing with would be corporations, restaurants. What else do we have there? Tourism locations, museums. All of those are what we've been doing the interiors with. So in this case, in this particular image here, these are 3 different types of mountings that we've done for businesses. The one on top, as you can see, is a rigid board with standoffs, we call them. And we did the same thing underneath with multiples of photos, doing standoffs. And some overlaying of each other on top of those. And then underneath that second one is a plexi standoff. This particular client wanted to be able to change out their graphics from time to time to show their newer work. So basically this is plexi on top of a mounted board, and then they can pop it off and put a fresh graphic in when they need to. Kim, let's go to our next screen. These are all different types of wall treatments that we've done. And these are basically either museum or exhibit treatments or tourism. The one on the very top was a wallpaper with control tack lines across it to give this effect of a very muted look and then a very shiny look going on top of it, which is what the client was trying to achieve with this museum look. We've also got a tourism here where we've done actually printed boards that are printed, mounted, and laminated. And these were then installed up at this location. And the other one underneath it, which is a really beautiful exhibit, is actually control tack, but we had to match the color between the lines to match the walls exactly so that it looked like they were actually hand drawn on there. And what we then did is took the control tack and then cut around the control tack so it gave that look of floating on the walls. This was a beautiful exhibit. Kim, next one, please. And then we move into our wallpapers. We do a lot of wallpapers. We do wallpaper, we do control tack, we do photo tack, but we do a lot of wallpapers for a lot of our interiors. What we're showing here is just a beautiful colored one. That's a huge image that is all seamed together that we install. We do that as well in-house. And the one across the way from it is a bunch of small photos. That was actually a layout and design that, once again, it was an interior and it was a company that decided they wanted to tell their story. They had been in business a long time and they had lots of old photos. So we turned them into black and whites, created a montage and then printed it to wallpaper and installed it there. And the one underneath that, which is a wonderful chance of showing the wallpaper, is actually the Albany Convention Center that we printed the wallpaper, and we did not install it, but we did do all the printing of that wallpaper. And that's a beautiful, beautiful job. Kim, next one. Oh, and these are a few more interiors that are just kind of fun to show. I wanted to show the one on top, which is control tack, but you don't need to have to mount it side by side. You can float it. You can put color in your interior. The one underneath is really, really fun. It's a floor graphic and it's a wallpaper on the wall. And this was being used in a room for the employees. But it's great because it actually looks like a beach with sand, and then there's a chair, actually a lounge chair, and it's where they can go and relax. And the small one underneath that, which is actually a phototech paper, this wallpaper was designed so that they could put shelves on there and put their awards on that paper. And we took that into consideration when we sat down and talked to them about what they were trying to do with this space here. So Kim, how about our next screen, please? Okay, now we're into the trade show world. That's our fifth and final. This is more, so I divide the trade shows into 3: small, medium, and large. The smaller shows, which are mostly hotel shows, we call them, there might be 2 or 3 hours that you're popping in, and you don't have a lot of time to set up. Here's a few of the items that we have that work really well. So the top case, the Excelsior one that you see, is actually will fold down and become a briefcase. So it's a hard briefcase. The panels are all separate, and this allows you to actually change out the panels as they're Velcroed on. Each panel, so you may have a center panel that you keep as your logo inside. And then on the sides, if you need to change that out, you can just have a whole nother separate panels to replace them with. That's a great case, and it's easy to transport. The cycle is a wonderful little unit that actually collapses down and flattens and goes into a small bag. This can be used on the ground. You could put it on top of a table. It can be a tabletop exhibit, and you can print on the front and back 2 different graphics. We have lots of little mini banner stands, and here we show some of the ones we have. The thing that I love about these little banner stands is you could do a small show with 1 or 2 banner stands, a table throw, and all of that can go into your carry-on bag, and you can feel comfortable representing yourself with just those. We do a lot of table throws. We do all sizes, 6 foot, 4 foot, 8 foot. We do stretch. We do double print on both sides, print on the entire thing, dye sublimated. So it's great to make sure you have a table throw to take you onto your trade shows. Kim, let's go to our next slide. Oh, that one didn't draw it either. Mm-hmm. The one on the top, oops. Can we pop? Okay, thanks, Kim. Our top photo is a great representation of a small little presentation being done in a grocery store. And that's a small trade show, a small banner stand with the stretch top table throw. And we created for them, because they wanted to have a backing around the top of that for their product. And that was a great way for them to take these 3 items and hit the road going. The next one underneath it is the Ronald McDonald House, which is another example of all very easy pieces that you can take for a small show. The actual counter that's on the ground can actually be popped up and put onto a table, once again, and can be a collapsible exhibit booth. You've got your small mini banner stand. You've got a wonderful little rack, pamphlet rack that rolls together, and you can take that with you. So all of this just collapses right down, and you can pretty much put it into one small bag. And unfortunately, we have a picture that's not going to show up too good. But Kim, that's all right, Kim. Why don't we move on? These are more medium-sized shows. This is your traditional pillow graphics. If any of you have ever been in, had any of the older pillow graphics, they were very hard to work with. You had to have tools to put them together. It could take two people just to kind of figure them out. They're almost like putting together a kid's toy. The new ones are much better. They're bungee together. They clip on. They literally, out of what used to be 8 pieces, are now 4 pieces, or it's down to nothing, where it takes you minutes to kind of clip the aluminum truss together, and then you can put the pillow graphic over it. Most of these pillow graphics you can print on both sides, which makes it really fun. This particular one is a curve. You can also get them in straights. You can get them different sizes. Anywhere from 8 foot, 10 foot, 6 foot, all different sizes. The bottom photo, which shows a nice representation for a medium-sized show, is your banner stand, your 2 smaller banner stands, your table throw. All of this can pack away into one small little carry case. Those small banner stands are also great because they can be sized 2 different sizes. They can be 15 inches or they can be 30 inches just by doubling the pole. So those are wonderful additions to the trade shows. Kim, next slide. Okay, and here we've got a couple other interesting booths. The one on the far left, the Gulf one, this particular unit has one large panel and many small panels. But these small panels you can actually exchange out. So let's say you want to take this booth with you, but you also want to advertise your next show coming up. You could have one panel that you switch off and you just put in a new panel for that upcoming event you have. So this booth allows you to continue using it, but also updating the photos as you go ahead. Also, what's also new in the market these days are travel cases that turn into counters. There's a lot of that these days, and this booth shows a nice example of that, a travel case that is also being used as a counter. Kim, can we go back? Oops. Sorry, Kim. Thank you, Kim. Sorry. The Perma tower you see, which was used actually at a show along with 2 banner stands. That's what they decided to use. They wanted that because the flexibility with this particular pole is that they were going to then use it in their corporate office for the year. So that gave them flexibility to use it at their trade show and then turn around and use it for the rest of the year. Underneath that, you also can get accessories for most of these booths. So the one underneath this is, once again, the pillow graphic. It's a straight pillow graphic, but it comes with a hanging accessory. It has the digital monitor, which there's a lot of options of that with the digital monitors. You can get anything from shelving with these, the monitors, hanging, storage. All depends on what your needs are. And once again, this also shows the travel case being used as a counter. Kim, next one, please. These are 2 larger booths. Actually, the one on the top is one of your traditional trade show material booths. It's a harder film. All of that goes into the case on the front, which is also used as a counter with their 2 banner stands. This is just a nice representation of a nice 10-foot space. What I love about the one underneath is all of those items, the hop-up that you see to the left, the table throw, and the 2 banner stands all fit into the one case to the far right. So the client wanted this for there are many reps for them to each have this entire program with the travel case. But then what also they did is then when they went to smaller shows, the case in the middle is actually a case that will fit the 2 banner stands and the table throw and materials, and they can take just that alone. So this client wanted it to be flexible enough so that that their reps could either ship or carry with them. And and we can do that, always find all of this. Okay, what's next, Kim? Here's a couple other cool little booths. This one in particular is a straight pillow. It's got the add-on for your digital screen. It's in fabric, which what you can do is there's many types of these add-ons. You can have curved ones that you can walk under. You can have ones that have sides on them. You can have shelving put underneath them, but it gives a really nice look to the trade show back. Then underneath is a curved wall. These have become really popular, especially if you need to go to a show and you want to sit down with clients. You want some privacy. These curves come in all sizes, 4 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot, tighter curves, larger open curves. All of this pillow graphics can all be printed on front and backs. They're all washable and they're very light. And that's why the fabric has gotten very, very popular in the trade show market. Kim, next one. Okay, here's a couple other really great ones that I just wanted to show you. This one on top has storage in it. And what you're seeing is the top view looking down into it. It's got storage, and we get a lot of times clients will say that, listen, I need a place to put all the things I need to bring along. How do I do that? And a container just won't work for me. So this is this is silicone edge graphics that go into an aluminum bar, and then it's got a build out for a little closet space. On it, you've got your digital screen and another little counter, and all this packs together into that container so you can ship it. Everything but the screen, I should say, will pack in there. The one underneath, same thing. This is another pillow graphic with a built-in monitor screen, and it's got its travel case that turns into your counter. And this is all, once again, fabric. Now let's see, Kim, I think we've got one more. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is one of the new stuff that's out here. This is the reconfigure into multiple sizes. So what's happening in the world today is most people are walking in here saying, I have a show. I've got a couple shows. One's 20 foot, one's a 10 foot. I've got a couple small things. What do? I don't want to have a whole bunch of different booths floating around. This is where we've been looking at the multiple size configurated booths. So this is all fabric. And what you do is to purchase the units you'd like to create the booth you want.
Pieces and parts.
Pieces and parts all come together. So in this case, we have the client wanted to be able to have a 20-foot booth, sometimes a 10-foot booth, and then sometimes they wanted to have a 5-foot booth, along with a couple. There's 2-foot two-foot booth stands there as well that they can take and use them with the 5-foot or use them alone. They were also able to print on the back sides of those 2-foots. So let's say they're going to a smaller show, they can take just the 2-foots, maybe just the 5-foot. They can mix and match this whole thing. So these are great. They actually are magnetic, or they come with little clamps so you can clamp them together, but it all breaks down, and this entire booth goes in 2 travel cases, and it's easy to put together. So that's Kim. What's next? One more. Oops. Okay. This is one of the other things that's popular these days is illuminated booths. This is an illuminated booth. Unfortunately, it doesn't show as well as it does in this photo, but that's also where we're seeing a lot of illumination coming back in booths. the original ones of older booths were not as good as they are now. Now we're seeing a lot of great illumination because of the LED market that's brought the illumination back in. So I think, are we all done, Kim? Oh, okay, one last one. This is just, actually, sorry, one more. This actually is a pillow graphic in the back, a silicone graphic in the back, but this was an existing exhibit that someone else had already built, and they asked us to wrap it. So that's also something we can do. If you've got something that we've used this before, do you think we can update the graphics? Sure, let us see. And in this case, that's what we did. We refreshed the graphics on this charging station that was already in existence. One more, I think we got, Kim. And that's it. And this is just another good use of a lot of things. Of the fabric, we're also using board here. You've got backlit showing on this one. We can do it all for you. All of this is still being used and still quite popular. So I think that's what we've got. That's what we have. Thank you, Kim.
Yeah, thanks, Kim, for running the slides, and
Thank you. Yes.
Lori and Beth, who you don't see, who just by name, but she's off to the side. So so Lori, it sounds like being in this business in my past a while ago, and Catherine referenced it in the chat that there are a lot of changes. So it sounds like the key, the big takeaway from this is flexibility.
Yes.
There's just so many options, right?
Yep. Flexibility. It's always good to share all that you know, or what you're thinking you want. If we know ahead of time, there's probably a work through, a fix, or anything that we can help you with. Yes, absolutely.
And combining a couple of things you presented, I imagine there are folks that will have trade show needs, but then they might set that up in their in their lobby or in some of their space, just for that interior, the interior look or interior design, so that it isn't just stuck in a closet for 10 months.
Well, that's yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, you're right, Paul. I mean, these days, no one wants to. We hear it all the time, like, "Oh, I have had this booth and I use it once." We hate hearing that.
Right.
And everybody says, "How do I get the most out of it? What can I still use? Put in my backdrop in my office, or vice versa." But you're absolutely correct.
Yeah. Well, great. Yeah, thanks again, Lori and Beth, extremely helpful. So we're about to switch off presentation mode. So just a couple little housekeeping things.
Okay.
Lori will be at her own table if anybody has specific questions they want to ask her in person. Other tables will have topic names that are moderated by FuseHub experts in that area. In addition, we also have Catherine Bamberger from Global New York, who has funds available specifically for trade shows and events. So everybody likes funding, right? So visit Catherine for trade show funding at the Global New York table, as well as Patty, our hero at FuseHub for funding, general funding questions, and Eric from the Solutions Program. They are augmenting our marketing and design experts that will be at these tables in just a couple of moments. When we're done today, we'd also like to offer a needs assessment to anyone who'd like to get assistance getting your next project started on the right foot. I'll put the link for that in the chat, and then that'll give us some information on your needs, and we'll be able to work with you directly on that. So one last thing, after the networking ends at